very appreciative for the opportunity to have Professor Xihe with us today. He'll be speaking on changes in aesthetic styles and genres in Chinese cinema from 1949 to 2004, and he is the professor and vice dean of the School of Film and Television at Shanghai University. I also wanted to mention that in keeping with the video format today, we are recording this lecture as we do almost all of the lectures that happen here in the Kennedy Center. So if there's, in today's lecture, and when we get to the time for question and answer, we will have a wireless mic that will pass around. Understanding this is a small room, we could probably hear your questions from the back, but we'd ask that you just wait to ask your question to the microphone so that other students and faculty who will want to view the lecture later on the web will be able to hear your erudite questions. Okay? So without any further ado, I'd like to turn the time over to Professor Xihe.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so I'm glad to have chance to speak here. Yeah, I have a friend, graduate from Brigham Young University. Now he's a professor in Tsinghua University. Yeah, so he's Tsinghua University is the top class university in China. So also I heard a lot of things about your university. You know, about such as your dancing and singing group. You know. They will go to China, yeah. Yeah, it's very famous in China, actually, yeah. So I'm proud of to have this chance to speak here. So the topic I will talk about today is changes in aesthetic styles, genres, and ideology in Chinese cinema from 1949 to 2004. So basically, I will give a historical point of view about the Chinese film history and pick some major points to show you how Chinese film changed during this period. Basically, I will divide this whole history after 1949 into 4 periods. The first period is the classic socialism period. The second period is the political and aesthetic reforming period. The third period is the post-Tiananmen period. Then is the current trends. So the first period is from 1949 to 1978. This is the classic socialism period. In the October 1949, the People's Republic of China was established. So this is the big change in China. So before 1949, the Chinese film mainly based on Shanghai. So there is a Shanghai tradition in Chinese film history. This history basically is the social criticism. Most of the film depicted the ordinary people in the society, and also have the sharp criticism to the Kuomintang regime. So most film are used the realism style. Most genre are drama and comedies. Also, the film industry is the private film industry owned by the private properties. So after 1949. The Communist Party come to the power. Then they do a lot of things to try to rebuild the Chinese film industry. First, just after 1949, the film studio still controlled by the private film industry. So there's a film made by Shen Yu. Shen Yu is a famous director of second generation in Chinese film history. He made a lot of film, progressive film in 30s and 40s. So during that time, in 1951, he made a film called Wu Xun Zhuan, Wu Xun's life. Basically, the film tells a story about a beggar. He has no education at all, so he think if you want to change your life, you need to get an education. Then he just used the money. He used the money he get from his begging from the people to build a small school for the poor people, for the poor kids. Then try to change their life. So also change the society. But at this point of view, it's not right for the, it's not right for the Communist Party. Yeah, they think if you want to change the society, the education is not is not enough or is not good. You must take the revolutionary action. Yeah, you must, do the class struggle. Then change the society. So they think this film is not good. So actually, this film was criticized publicly in the People's Daily. Also, Chairman Mao wrote an article to criticize this film personally. Actually, he wrote an article, himself to criticize this film. So after this criticism, Chinese government built the censorship system. They just banned some of the film they think is not good. Also, some of the film works was out of work if they make the film the government don't like. So this is the first action the new Chinese regime take to reconstruct the Chinese film industry. The second one is, they reconstructing the film industry base. So Shanghai film industry is basically a private film industry. So after 1949, the state took over all the film studio in Shanghai and built a Shanghai film studio. Before that, there are a lot of private small film company. But after 1949, the state reorganized all the private film studio into the two big film studio. One is the Tianma Film Studio, another one is the Haiyan Film Studio. Also, the government decentralized the Shanghai film industry. They built another film studio in Changchun, and one in Beijing, and another one is controlled by the army. It's called August 1st Film Studio. So now China have more than one film central. Yeah, more than one film central. In this case, the government asked all the film artists to follow the new film aesthetic called socialist realism. Yeah. Socialist realism. Basically, socialist realism means socialist means a certain political position. You must stay with the party line, with the party policy, and that means if you don't follow the party line, this film is considered not good. The realism means to depict the people in realism style. So in that time, the ghost film, China had a lot of ghost film, also the kung fu film. That are considered not realistic, Also the scientific film, scientific fiction, that's not realistic style. So during that time, that kind of genre cannot made in China. So in this period, two major new genres in the Chinese film. One is the theme of revolutionary history, 革命历史题材. I just translated into the theme of revolutionary history. Basically, this kind of film just tell the story about how the Communist Party and the people struggle to get into the power before 1949. So it's called the revolutionary history, such as the Red Detachment of Women. It's made in 1960 by the very famous director Xie Jin. Yeah. Xie Jin is considered a third generation of Chinese filmmaker. So I guess, I forgot to bring the poster. Yeah, as I know, yeah, your school will show this film during the period. Yeah, during this period. Yeah, Chinese Film Festival. The another genre is the 革命现实题材. I translated into the theme of revolutionary reality. Basically, this kind of genre tells the story about the people's life after 1949. Yeah. Or tells how things get changed in the new China, how things getting better, social life getting better in new China, basically. So also there's a film called Woman Basketball Player Number 5, directed also by Xie Jin, will be shown in your film festival. Yeah. So in this kind of in these films, a new ideology was expressed. You know, I cannot analyze the ideology of Chinese film in detail. I just take one figure to tell you the major points. You know, in the film, in Chinese film, the father figure before 1949, almost all of them are negative figure. You know, in the Chinese film, they are criticized. You know, father figure kind of hold the power in the family, also in the society. They are kind of symbolic figure of the family, of the state, also of the power. You know, so before 1949, also the film in the theme of revolutionary history. In this kind of film, you know, there are the negative figure about the father image, you know. They are represented the repressive power in the society. But after 1949, you know, in the socialist society, you know, the new Chinese film tried to build a new figure, new father figure. You know, they are positive. They just support people and give the people power, you know. So this is the major change, such as in the real detachment of woman. In this film, there's a negative figure about father image. It's represented by the Nan Ba Tian. He is actually is a landlord. So the female character suffered under his role. You know, the female character. Then the female character, then escaped from his land and get help from the Red Army. Red Army, a member of Red Army. Also, he's a major major male character called Hong Changqin. In the initial story, there's a love affair between Hong Changqin and Chunhua, and the female character. But the party, also the government, think this relationship is not proper because the Hong Changqin is the symbol of the party, also the symbol of the party. He should give the people the direction of revolution. Yeah, give the people the power, how to struggle with the reactionary power. So if they have the love affair, it's not proper. He should be a kind of a figure of a father. So they just eliminate the love affair between these two characters. So make the main character more positive, more powerful, and just more fit into the party's line. So, yeah, basically, yeah, these two major genres dominated the period after 1949 to 1978, also during the Cultural Revolution. Yeah. After 1976, the Cultural Revolution is over, you know. So, in the 1978, Deng Xiaoping get into the power. He admitted the party made a mistake and Mao made a mistake, yeah, in the political life, and allow the people, the artists, to criticize these mistakes. So gave more freedom in social life and art creation. This is the background of the change. So during this time, the old style of socialist realism was debated and criticized, and the new realism was introduced. Yeah, the new realism is not totally like the neon realism in Italian film. You know, this is a Chinese style realism. You know, this film depicting the ordinary people's life with a realistic style, so such as Linju, Neighbor. This film is also shown in your film festival. During this time, there are several major genres. The first one is the tragedy. Before the 1978, yeah, there's no tragedy in China. You know, there's no tragedy genre in China. Yeah, in Chinese filmmaking, because according to the party, yeah, there's no tragedy in Chinese real life, society life. You know, so you cannot you cannot write the tragedy. Yeah, you know. But actually, a lot of tragedy happened in the real life during the Cultural Revolution and also after the 1949. So during this time, the tragedy is allowed. But still, a lot of tragedy comes with a happy ending, because after the Cultural Revolution, the things changed. So the party asked the artist, when you write the tragedy, remember to put a happy ending on the end. Yeah. So this is what happened in the Hibiscus Town, you know. This is a very famous film during that time. It's also made by the third generation of the film director, Xie Jin. Yeah, he also made the radio detachment of woman, and also the woman basketball number 5. One basketball player number 5. Yeah, during this time, he made a lot of famous film too. So this film was censored by government and made a lot of cuts, major cuts. You know, one major cut is the ending about the film. You know, just put a bright ending to the end of the film. You know, also during this time, another genre is art film. Yeah, represented by the 5th generation. Yeah, I think a lot of people maybe know the 5th generation in China. Zhang Yimou, Chen Xihe. Yeah, we will show some clips after my presentation of Huang Tudi. It's the first major film made by 5th generation. Yeah, director is Chen Xihe. Yeah. In this film, the people expressed another kind of new ideology. You know, in this film, you know, the father figure is missing, you know, especially in the Hibiscus Town. Or father is a negative or just not a positive image, you know. through this kind of father figure, the film artist just want to try express some criticism to the power of the society, some just want to express some criticism to the government, to the Communist Party, yeah. So also there's another kind of film appeared in China that's called entertainment film. Before the 1978, the entertainment film is not allowed in China too. The film used to be considered the political tool. Also, so the film artists have the responsibility to teach the people, to tell the people the party's policy, the government's policy. So the film is not for entertainment. But after 1978, the entertainment film is allowed in China. So during that time, China made some of kung fu film and mysterious film and also comedy film, yeah. Especially kung fu film and action film. Also, the old genre still exists, such as, the revolutionary themes, yeah, revolutionary history, revolutionary reality film still exist during this time. In 1989, June 4th, there's a Tiananmen Square incident. After that, the situation is changed in China. After Tiananmen Square incident, two major concerns dominated the Chinese film. One is the political concern, because the government think how to use the film, use all the tools to stabilizing the society, the region. Another concern, the government is still concerned to keep the economic reform going. So there's a dual concern during this time. So during this time, there's several major genres. One is the mainstream film. I said that during the 80s, the revolutionary theme just still existed, but it's not on the dominated position. But during the 90s, the government put a lot of money into this kind of film. They use the government money to support mainstream film. This kind of film depicted the war, the struggle of Communist Party with the Kuomintang before 1949, or depicted, they think the member of a Communist Party, yeah, they do a lot of good job for the people after 1949, yeah. They also depict a lot of leader figure in the Communist Party, such as Mao Zedong, Zhou Enlai, and Liu Shaoqi, this kind of figure, yeah. So this film was supported by the government and both from the financial resource, also from the political resource. The government, when this film released, the government will do a lot of propaganda job on the newspaper to organize the people, go to the film theater to watch this film. So this film is the major genre during the 90s. Also, the government want to still keep the economic reform going. So they now allow the private money, private capital get into the film industry. So the film industry also used the money to make a lot of entertainment film. During 1993 in China, the 7 of 10 most 10 box office movie was made with the cooperation with the Hong Kong Film Company and the Hong Kong Film Capital. Most of them are kung fu action movie, during this time. Also, the art films still exist. Yeah, they are survived by the International Film Festival. Once they get award from International Film Festival, they can go back to the domestic market to get some audience to watch. Yeah, the Blue Kite, I guess it was shown the day before yesterday. Yeah, made by Tian Zhuangzhuang. He's one of the fifth generation. Yeah, Blue Kite is the representative of the art film. Also, Raise Red Lantern, made by Zhang Yimou. Farewell My Concubine, made by Chen Xihe. They are all the member of the fifth generation, new generation. During this time, the sixth generation, get on the stage. Their film more focusing on the contemporary life, because most of the sixth generation born after 60s or 70s, they haven't experienced the cultural revolution. They just, they grew up in the new period. New period. They grew up in the reforming period. So their life experience more focused on the contemporary life. After 2001, China get into the WTO. Also, the Chinese film get into WTO. Actually, before 2001, Chinese film industry signed agreement with the Hollywood, I guess, to import Hollywood film into China. About 10 films each year. So these films are welcomed by Chinese audience. Also made the Chinese film theater profitable. So after this also have a lot of influence on Chinese filmmaking. Also affect the filmmaking of a fifth generation, such as Zhang Yimou, Chen Xihe. They made after 2001, they made a major change in their filmmaking. During this time, old style of the mainstream film, depicting the leader of the Communist Party or the member of the Communist Party, getting more and more marginal during this time. And the fifth generation becomes the mainstream. But they don't make the old style of mainstream film. They make kung fu film. They make comedy. So now two most successful director of fifth generation are Zhang Yimou and Feng Xiaogang. Feng Xiaogang, each year he make a film, then released during the New Year's time. It's very profitable. Profitable. So the Zhang Yimou's film Hero actually is very successful in American market, as I know, but it was criticized by the Chinese intellectual because they think actually also the father figure in the film, the first emperor, is the, Zhang Yimou give a positive image to the first emperor. But according to most of Chinese intellectuals' point of view, according to the Chinese history, first emperor actually is very cruel. It's a repressive power in the society. After he conquered the nation Zhao, he built 400,000 soldiers, lively. So in Chinese history book, Qin Shuang mostly a negative figure, But during this time, the Zhang Yimou make a film just, renew this figure, Just, I think, this is just, what I should say. In certain degree, this is welcomed by the government because during this time the government faced the situation, the unstable in the domestic and also the struggle, the unification problem, the issue with the Taiwan. They hope, build a powerful region to unify the whole China. So the hero just get along with this line. So the government during this time, the government just very supportive to the hero. Also during this time, the art film was majorly represented by the sixth generation. Now they replace the place usually by the fifth generation. Usually by the fifth generation. But for the sixth generation, they are still struggle harder on the domestic market because these films, there's no much audience. Once they get the award from outside, from international film festival, then things will getting better. Things will getting better. So for most of the sixth generation, they want to make the film survival. They only can get the money from the private resource and also from the international film festival awards. Make them film survive. This is actually the outline of the Chinese film history after 1949. So here I just give the basic outline and the basic the history about the Chinese film. I cannot get into the detail about each film. So if you have some question, I can take the question.
I noticed before the revolution, a lot of Chinese films came from Shanghai. Seems like a lot now come from Hong Kong. Is the Shanghai film industry been rebuilt in China?
You mean after 1949?
Well, I was thinking after the 60s.
60.
After the revolution, is the Shanghai Film Fest program rebuilt? Are more films coming out of Shanghai now or Hong Kong?
You mean in the 60s, right?
Well, I mean today.
Oh, today, okay. Today, China try to rebuild their reputation for the filmmaking, but they try to attract more directors from the outside of Shanghai. During long period, the Shanghai film had better name. Very conservative. Very conservative. Not like the 1949. Before 1949, the Shanghai film made a lot of excellent film. After 1949, Shanghai still made a few of the good films, but some of them are criticized by the government, by the left-wing critics, but a more good film made in Beijing Film Studio or maybe in the Changchun Film Studio. The Shanghai film tradition, just diminished. Just diminished. But after, I guess, the Shanghai film artist and the Shanghai film studio saw this problem. So now they try to draw more directors from outside, such as this year, last year actually, they attract a film director of sixth generation, leading figure, Jia Zhangke, to Shanghai to make film. So he just finished a film called 世界 World. The film is also the first film made by Jia Zhangke with the China Film Studio. Before this, Jia Zhangke's film is considered underground. Even though his film get a lot of awards internationally. I remember in France, he got an award. You know, also the Kyoto Cinema. You know, the film journal put his picture on the cover. Yeah, become the cover figure. But in China, only few people knows him. Yeah, only few people knows him. Yeah, but now he get on the ground and make the film with the studio, also with the government money. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
You talked about the third generation and the fifth generation. I don't know if you mentioned the fourth generation.
Oh yes, I didn't mention. Yeah.
Okay. So what happened?
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Fourth generation is under shadow of the fifth generation because after 1978, the first several major movies are made by fourth generation. I just mentioned a neighbor, Lin Ju, is made by Chen Dong Jin. He is a professor of Beijing Film Academy. Also, Xie Fei, Xie Fei is made a film called the Black Snow. I don't know if you know this film. Yeah, this film got the award in the Berlin. Yeah, the Berlin. Yeah, it's made in 1989. Black Snow. It's fourth generation. You know, when I mentioned the genre after 1978 tragedy, the most of this genre made by the fourth generation. Yeah, fourth generation and the third generation. But the fourth generation kind of in the in the uncomfortable position. For the older genre, for the revolutionary history and the revolutionary reality, the third generation did better than them. For the art film, the fifth generation did better than them. So the fourth generation is just under the third generation, the shadow, and the fifth generation's shadow. So in the outside, people know the Xie Jin, also know the Zhang Yimou and the Chen Xihe. But the fourth generation just kind of unknown for the outsider. But actually, they made a lot of good films. Yeah, made a lot of good films. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
What are some examples of sixth-generation directors, and what would be a good work to see to get an example of what the sixth-generation films look like?
Okay. I don't know if you watch. Yeah, there's the Bicycle. You get an award in the Berlin Film Festival made by Wang Xiaoshuai. Yeah, this film actually banned in China because when the director sent this film to the Berlin, he didn't get approval from the government. So even though the film get award from Berlin Film Festival, the producer is the Taiwan. The producer is Taiwan. So this film is when the producer come to the Taiwan, he got a warm welcome in the airport. But when the Wang Xiaoshuai, the director, get back to the Beijing from Berlin, nobody in the airport to welcome him. And also, he was banned for 2 years, about 2 years. He cannot make film, Yeah. Also, this is sixth generation. But now the leading figure in the sixth generation is called Jia Zhangke. He made, Xiao Wu, and also the Platform, and also Sijie. Yeah, he is considered leading figure. Yeah, now sixth generation Jia Zhangke. Wang Xiaoshuai is also the major figure in the sixth generation. Oh yeah, you can consider the Xiao. Yeah, the Zhang Yang. Yeah. He is the 16th generation. Yeah, Xiao. Yeah, the film Xiao is made by sixth generation. Yeah.
What category do you put movies such as The Burning of Yuan Mingyuan?
Yuan Mingyuan,
Yeah.
Burning of Yuan. Actually, this film is made by the Taiwan director Li Hanxiang. Yeah, you can say this film.
Can you consider it as a Chinese movie?
In broad sense, it's Chinese movie, but it's made by Li Hanxiang. During that, you can consider that film is the entertainment film. Yeah. It's not a real historical story. Yeah. It's just made from the historical, from the historical story. Yeah. So it's kind of yeah, it's very successful during that time. Yeah, during that time, it's considered just like a kung fu, just like it's considered an entertainment movie. Yeah, for most of yeah, according my point of view. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Is it very difficult for you to keep up with some of the movies that have been banned or that are restricted by the government, like Bicycle, for example?
Mm-hmm.
How would you personally go about seeing that movie, or how do you keep up with that?
Oh yeah, we can get the DVD in the in China it's easy to get a DVD.
But it's hard to see it in the theaters.
Yeah. You never see it on the theater. Yeah, yeah. It's this is just like a coin. It's good thing, also the bad thing. For the copyright is the bad thing. For the for people watching movie, it's good thing. Now a lot of Chinese people watch a lot of American movie and also the European movie from the DVD. But actually, these are pirate copies. Yeah, it's not a legal copy. But through this way, people knows outside. Yeah, the people knows outside. Yeah. So okay, okay, go ahead.
What do you think is like the most influential or the best movie made after 1949 in China?
After 1949, I should say that Hibiscus Town. Yeah, I just said it was 1986, made by Chen Xihe. That is it's kind of old style melodrama, but Chinese people just like melodrama. It's not avant-garde. So this kind of movie have a lot of audience. Also, this movie expressed the experience people suffered during the Cultural Revolution. So this movie drew a lot of the audience to the theater. It's very successful during that time. Yeah, it's very successful during that time. But now, a lot of new filmmakers criticize that film. It's old style, it's melodrama. But I still consider this film is a good film. Yeah, actually, yeah. Even though the aesthetic style is kind of old, but the political message is very radical. Yeah, actually, yeah.